Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining us. This is Business Incorporated live from Lagos. I am Bosun Omofaye. Let's get started on the show today. Heads of Securities Exchange Commission in West Africa begins the meeting today in Abu Dhabi. And Egypt's Urban Consumer Price Index, or what you call inflation, jumps to 28.1% in January. And Botswana puts its national airline up for tender as part of the drive to privatize loss-making state companies. Let's get started, and we're looking at the markets. A very nasty Monday for the Egyptian stock market. That index, the EGX20, is about 1.41% in the red as we speak. However, the largest market to the western part of the continent, West Africa, Nigeria market, still in the green, about 0.24% at midday. That's slightly higher as we speak, about 0.26%. In South Africa, the GSE is keeping it in the green, about 12 o'clock Nigerian time. That's about 0.66%. And right now, the GSE is about 0.74%, 0.75%, because the financials and other indices, industrial and resource indices, are in the green. A very interesting and positive day in Nigeria and South Africa as far as the market is concerned, but Egypt is treading water again with the currency falling through since November 3rd currency devaluation. Let's move on to the Middle East, where shares in Dubai's Arab Tech slumped intraday Monday after the builder reported a larger fourth quarter net loss, which sapped risk appetite in the market, while other markets were mixed. The Dubai financial markets, 1.75% in the red. Lunchtime Nigeria, Arab Tech plummeted almost 10% after it made a net loss of 2.95 billion dirhams in the 3 months to December 2016. Abu Dhabi was also down about 0.14%. The Saudi market gaining about 0.5%, with further discussions on who are the financial advisors to the Saudi Aramco's IPO in 2018, which will make Saudi Aramco the world's biggest company by market value. $2 trillion was what the Saudis are targeted. In Europe, investors are eyeing fresh economic data and digesting new political developments in the U.S. Let's talk to my colleague in Frankfurt. Ulrich Barth is going to talk to us on the phone in a few minutes to get us through some of the top stories. But one of that is the meeting being held today in Berlin with the Chancellor Angela Merkel and a few other public officials from the Eurozone having a key discussions there. We'll need to find out what's going on there right now. But let's get on these early morning hours on Wall Street, where the markets are thinking whether the Trump's rally is over and whether the quiet in the market is what you call the quiet before the storm. So the stocks index futures are pointing to a higher open today, perhaps. Traders are looking at some of the leftovers of 2014 earnings, as well as comments from the U.S. Federal Reserve later in the week. On the earnings front, restaurant Brands International, Teva Pharma, and First Data are scheduled to report today before the opening bell. ARC Capital, Noble Energy, Vornado Reality, and One Main Holdings are due to report after the market closed. There are no major economic data releases scheduled for today. Looking at the Dow Jones, better than what you saw there now, about a 0.2%. The S&P futures about slightly better than that, 0.18, and the Nasdaq futures about 0.1% in the green. So that's where the markets are. Look at the trading day for Asia today, being the first day, dinner time in Asia as we speak. The markets moved into positive territory Monday, taking a cue from the U.S. Friday close after markets climbed to a new high on improved risk appetite as investors shook off geopolitical concerns over North Korea's weekend ballistic missile test. The Nikkei 225 stock average closed 0.4% better after the Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe's weekend visit to Donald Trump and the first meeting there. South Korea's Kospi, however, wavered for the most of today but ended up 0.17%. The index gains were capped as the market grappled with news of North Korea's latest missile tests in the Japanese waters. Meantime, the Shanghai Composite posted its fourth consecutive session of gains, up 0.4%, and the Shenzhen Composite closed quarter of a percent in the afternoon. In Hong Kong, the Hang Seng was up 0.5%, and Australian ASX also joined the rest of that rally, 0.75%. Quite a very nice and decent day, first day of the week in Asia. So in Europe, investors are looking at a number of stories to guide the trading week that's starting right now. Let's get Ulrich Bartz from the Frankfurt Stock Exchange to have a few minutes conversation on the phone regarding where we are right now. Ulrich, good afternoon, and thanks for coming through on the program.
Yeah, good afternoon to you.
Yes, look at the European Commission expecting to provide a series of indicators on the health of member states of the EU and non-EU countries, including inflation and unemployment figures. What's the outlook?
Yeah, the outlook is better for the EU as a whole than for the Eurozone countries. The EU as a whole is looking at growth of about 1.8% for this year, and the Eurozone at 1.6%. Inflation, that's a very interesting figure. That was at 0.2% last year, and this year it's projected to go up for the Eurozone to 1.7%. Now, there are several exceptional risks, the EU Commission says. The Brexit is one of those, and the effects of U.S. policies under the new U.S. President Trump as well.
Ulrich, there's a big meeting going down today in Berlin. Chancellor Merkel will be there, and the Vice Chancellor Sigmar Gabriel will be there, of course, with the French Prime Minister and a former European Parliament President, Martin. So what are they talking about? What are they going to be talking about?
Well, I think much the same risks that we just mentioned, the upcoming Brexit, the development there. What will the effects of Donald Trump's policies be on the European Union, on Germany, on France, and not least, I think, also the numerous elections. And I think first and foremost will be the topic that everyone also here in the financial markets is talking about. It's buzzing, the French election coming up in April, and it's